Hello everyone and welcome to the new multi-class season, and an interesting one we've got, as I'm now in Challenger class. The pros have got 7 teams in, and it's a team-based championship. But obviously, you know, you get your best drivers in, the drivers are going to get you those points and win as a team. However, I'm in Challenger and it's a driver focus, this one, so this is on PC as well. And I'm in a GT3 car, and my aim here really is to just show how strong GTA is as a team, and also try and win this Challenger title. So this is my qualifying lap as we come through this second chicane. Quite tricky. I did a 35.7 there. Best in a GT3 car I've done is a 35.5. I actually think a 0.4 is actually possible there, but it's pretty hard to nail. So I'm 2 tenths down on my best, but even so, I'm still going to carry on. And one thing to note is traffic in this. There's 29 cars in this one, so it's pretty hectic out there. You can see I let an LMP car go. As you can see on the right side, Yuhan is behind me and there's an LMP ahead of me, so I know I'm currently P1, but I still want to get a slap in. So I flashed Rotax over because a bit of slipstream might help on this quali lap. So I'll give him a friendly flash. You can come over, mate. I want a bit of slipstream down the straight, thanks very much. And he's still yet to qualify. So here we go, down the straight. 37.2 middle. Even with letting him by, that's pretty good. Looking for a 37.0 really, but again, really hard to do. 37.1 good, but 37.2 just as good really. It's come through parabolic. Just get a bit of understeer there. It cost me a little bit of time. You want to stay more to the inside there. As we head towards the start finish line, look at the right side. Look at the time. 6 seconds to cross the line. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and we just crossed the line. You see I'm happy there. 44.5, 5 tenths ahead of Yuhan, and leading the GT3 class as we then head towards the race. Now the race is going to be a bit of an interesting one, as you'll see straight from the start, and as always in these races I'll commentate on some parts and then I'll just let you be able to watch the race. So here we go with the start. Again, absolute cracking start, as per usual in these multi-classes, but there's a huge pile up in front. I managed to miss the mess. I have still no idea how I managed to miss the mess, but then I get underway. So I've lost 2 positions in the Challenger class, but 3rd place, I can cope with that. And a lot of the LMP cars behind are actually really damaged at this point. So I just let Dynadas through. It being an LMP car, I expect him to accelerate away, so there's no point in me fighting with that. As we then head towards the second chicane. So at this point I'm thinking, yes, my wheel hasn't done anything dodgy like it did last time at Monza at the multi-class. And we're still in with a fight. I can see the 2 challenges up ahead. And 5 tenths a lap quicker by qualifying at least. So let's see what we can do in the race. Just overshoot that corner slightly there. I think that was just a bit of slipstream just catching me out. But I can see this LMP car is struggling really to even keep up with the LMPs at the moment. Whereas behind, Hades is keeping up quite nicely. Gets a nice wheel on the inside, friendly flash over to let him know that he can come through, and then we keep on going. So coming up to here, and you can see there's a bit of chatter on the left hand side as well regarding lag at the start and things like that. So coming up to Ascari, this is where my first mistake happens. Everyone brakes super early and super strong, and I'm not sure why. So I obviously try and avoid that whole incident by going right. That obviously then stops my braking as much. I hit Dynadas, apologies Dynadas, but not sure why we were all braking that early. My fault obviously, going into the back, but I continue on. But I have got a bit of damage at this point. Now I didn't notice in the race initially, and I should have noticed this when TX3 mate went through, that I did have damage, but I continued on, and this is where I should have noticed it. So the LMPs, I knew some were going to go into the pit, so I knew Dynadas had big damage because he couldn't get past GT cars at all. It was causing a tailback. But here, look, he's just firing away. Didn't really notice it initially. I just thought I'd just got a bad exit of the corner. So I'm going to continue on. And now I want you to start paying attention to that rear view mirror a little bit, because this is where it gets a bit interesting. So you can see that a car goes absolutely flying, wipes out all the tyres, but actually the car isn't there. The car is everywhere. And if you look in the mirror now, you can see him all over the place. And you can probably guess what's going to happen with my look. But even so, you can see the length of the video, so it's not all over. So going into this chicane, it's all well and good. I nearly get wiped out, as you'll see in a second. Look at that, that's so close, that is ridiculous. But I obviously don't know where he is. I have no idea where on the track this guy is. Is he in front? Is he behind? Is he to the right of me right now? I have no clue. You can't even see it on the replay. That shows you that, you know, the communication between the PTs isn't there. He hits me there, and now I've lost the rear end a little bit. I catch it, and then the left just catches me out there, and then I just avoid the barrier. So at this point I could hit the reset button and get in the way of some people. I know my car goes invisible, but you know, it scares a few people, so I wait for the last guy to come through. I know when he's going to come through, that won't scare him too much, and on the way I go. So to nearly the back of the grid, because obviously we've had some retirements. One of the car drivers got hit by the leggy guy at the start, so it forced a disqualification. Dynadas, who's been in the pits, has just gone through, and there's a guy behind me as well, Big J, who has had an incident somewhere. I assume he's gone in the pits himself. So we have a lot of work to do, and I basically do a lap because I don't realise the damage. Realise I need to pit, so you know, we're 6 minutes into the race. If I'd have pit earlier, it'd have been helpful. So I come out and I'm just going to be in front of Big J. Well, I think I'm going to be in front. Jumps ahead there. I'm not sure whether that was just frame lag or actually internet lag or whatever. But even so, I'm aware of that now. I'm going to be a bit more careful behind Big J at least. So I'll let the challenge commence to see how far this grid I can actually get back up. As we saw at Monza in the last season, it was actually better to pit here because of the straight line speed loss is huge in time wise, and I did notice that I was losing nearly 6/10 on the middle sector alone. So you know, pitting made so much sense because it's like a 5 seconds in the pit box and then 20 seconds thereafter. But if you're losing 1.5 seconds a lap, you can easily make that up. Yeah, we're going to challenge Big J now. You can see I'm slowly going to catch. So what's going to happen after we catch up to Big J is after that we're actually going to do our fastest lap of the race, just to show you what an actual fast lap looks like, without slipstream as well. But even so, we're going to catch up to Big J because obviously the slipstream is going to be strong. And as we saw in qualifying, I did get that P1 in Challenger class, so I know I can race these guys fairly quickly, especially the guys further back in the grid. I think I was 2 seconds ahead of them, maybe. So that's quite a big margin on this track. As we now come into the Parabolica, a nice line there. Just get a bit of understeer here, so I'm having to let off a little bit. And I've got sort of like a speed trap here, so the start that curb I was a couple of miles an hour slower. But I am aware Big J's got this issue, but then suddenly this huge slowdown. So apparently on his screen I hit him slightly. He didn't go into the barrier, I don't believe, because he jumps back up there. But yeah, I went right as soon as I could there to avoid that. A bit of a strange one, but even so, it didn't harm our races too much, and we carry on. So now this is a fast lap, even with that weird situation. So you're going to get the fastest lap of the race from me, which is faster than my quali lap as well. My fastest potential is actually in the 43s, believe it or not, when I had up all my best sectors, which is unbelievable pace, really. So you can see that I nailed that second chicane perfect, and we am pushing hard in this entire race from this point on. You can see I'm 17 seconds behind the next GT driver, but we'll catch that up fairly rapidly. As we then come to the second Lesmo, you can see I use a lot of the grass on the left hand side. Just gives you that better line through here. I can accelerate out. I hit that bump slightly, which slows me down a little bit. So it's still going to be my true optimum. Again, I got a 35.7 first sector, where you're looking for a 35.5 really for that real optimum lap. So we come into Ascari. This is how you do Ascari properly. Through there, get an absolutely good line. Cut of that curb in a GT car. You can't do that in the LMP. 37.1, there you go. That's pretty bang on with the middle sector. You can see I'm pushing very nicely. And I've got some time reference points along this straight that I can use as well. If you're not sure what I mean by time reference points, when you watch the track guides, which are coming, you'll get where I'm coming from a little bit more. And same with speed traps and things like that. But here we are. I'm going to cross the line in just a second. So there's another time reference point. If you pass that sign, you're still in the 39s. You know it's a really low 44, 44.3, 31.4 last sector. Looking for a 31.3 there really. So we accelerate a bit further on in the race. 9 seconds behind the guy in front now, so we've already knocked 8 seconds off that lap. But we are being cut by the LMP guys as we've pitted as well. So the first guy, I'm trying to work out who it is, and I realise it's driver R1. So I know driver R1 is fairly clean. Oh, fairly clean, he is clean. And he is the last season's champion. So driver R1 goes through there. And now going to the left, use a bit of slipstream off driver. I'm not going to brake as late as I normally do, just to make sure I don't affect his race. And then I get a lot of understeer there. I'm not sure why. Just get a real huge amount of understeer. So I lost about 4 or 5 miles an hour. Who's next? It is TRL Mangator. He's going to go through. I'm going to give him a friendly hello flash there in a second. I'm not sure whether he does that there for me as well. But yeah, there's a friendly flash. And on we go. So again, I'm going to brake a bit earlier as I don't want to affect his race. So just nice, easy braking down into this first chicane. So who's next? I'm wondering, because those two are expected to be at the front. I'm looking at their race pace and quali laps. I think I'd have been there as well in the LMPs, as they're doing the same laps I did previously in the Go 4. But I am wondering who is next on the track. And also, where are they going to catch me is another one. So we begin to see that it is VP Isaac. And one thing to note with these, actually, and I'm surprised some of the pro teams haven't started doing this already, is talking to the GT guys a little bit. Because there are some teams that I will happily move out the way for, as I do with Isaac there, to make sure I get out the way. Another friendly flash for Isaac. And there are others where I won't actively move out the way or be as helpful to. As just because, for example, there are some teams that I've seen in the past that I don't agree with what they've done, whereas others like Mangator, Driver R1, Isaac I've had good races with, and they're really friendly and they talk to each other, so it's all nice. But I'd never affect anyone's race, of course. It's just that I'd be a tad bit more helpful with somebody. I'll let off that bit earlier, let them through that bit quicker. So you can see I'm now catching that GT guy, Burla. I am now 1.7 seconds off. We've got Okaroka about to come past my right hand side. Okaroka, another PS4 driver, going through very nicely there. And then we've got our first TX3 guy. And I'm going to let off early because I know he can brake later anyway. But I'll let off, brake about 180 metres rather than at the 150 marker. Just let him through. And on we go. So they're in a big battle, and that battle was for the entire race. The stream covered that battle a lot between Okaroka and Ludovic, I think his name is. But I'm now going to try and make a position. You can see I'm catching up to Burla very, very quickly. What am I going to do? That's right, down the inside. Down the inside. I give him enough room there. He can make that round without even touching that sausage, but maybe he doesn't trust me as much. So I get another position. So that's 2 positions made up in the GT class. Where are we going next? So we're 9 seconds down on the next guy. But first we advance a bit further ahead, and we've got another LMP car about to lap us. Now this one isn't actually on the replay screen. No idea why. But even so, he's about to overtake me. And once again, I'll just brake that a little bit earlier. Gives them the guidance that they are going to make the corner ahead of me. Then I can come through. So Rotat's going through there, and next I think is Tom Kilos, and he's just going to go around the outside of me at this Curva Grande. And again here I'm going to brake that tad bit earlier. I'm just going to let him through, and there we go. So nice and easy. I continue on, got a bit of oversteer there. So you can see a 36.3, it does cost me time, like about 6 tenths of a second, letting these guys through, but, they're lapping me, I'm effectively the lap car, I have to let them through. So you can see I'm up on my time on the left, I'm pushing hard, I'm constantly pushing hard. You can see where I brake now, but I just come into here, and that bump just chucks me off. I actually think I thought I was going to get a shortcut penalty there, I didn't. So I just now lose about 1.5 seconds there, where I didn't really want to lose it, and you'll see why later on in the race. But we'll keep pushing nonetheless, and this guy chose a McLaren. Fastro chose a McLaren, which is an unusual choice here, because it's all about speed, and the Aston GT3 car is very well known for its speed. But we are going to keep pushing nonetheless. You can see my potential on the left hand side, 143.9, as I say. When I add up all my best sectors, it is way in the 43s, which is crazy pace. So I think on the PS4 in the Go 4 it was a 144.2 by Spider, but I think that had a bit of slipstream in it as well. Flash my lights there. That's just to give him a well, I'll put a bit of pressure on him really, and you'll see I'll do that on quite a few of the guys this time because I just want to get past them as fast as I can to try and make as many positions as I can. Top 3 in the GT3 class actually qualify automatically for the next race, so that's where my aim is really now, is to get back into that top 3. So on the straight, here we go. Now I move out a bit earlier because obviously I saw that thing with Big J as well, and we make that pass nice and easy. Next guy, 3 seconds ahead, and we're going to try and catch up to him as fast as we can. But through the first chicane we go. And I do make a few mistakes in this race on the track. As I say, the bumps and the curbs can really shut you off. But one lap later, you can see Magic Michael there flashing constantly. And you'll see me on the left hand side say, alright Michael, there you go, you see. I know he's there, and I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to dab the brake a little bit here just so he knows that he can go. Let him through. I say TRL is one of those teams that at the moment, you know, I know Michael, I know Mangator, we've had some good clean races in the multi-class, so I'll be extra helpful to them at the moment. But as you can see, Lebo is on the left hand side now, and I'm going to catch him up at the chicane. So this is where I overtook Burla. Are you going to be able to overtake Lebo here? I'll just give him a little flash, put a bit of pressure on him. He does run a little bit wide there, but I slowed down. Just get a good run out of there, and I'm going to try and overtake him Plasma 1. This is a really hard overtake to do. He breaks a bit early, I come through, make that position. That's another place made in this race, so that's 4 positions now made, and we're going to keep going and trying to overtake even more. We've got another LMP car coming through. I think this might be Storm. I'm not 100%. No, it's Hades. It is Hades as we come up to Ascari. Now it's really tricky for the LMPs really here at Ascari because they are so much faster. It's the same at Parabolica. Because they can carry so much more speed, it can really slow them down here. So it's very tricky. And now tracks later on in the championship, some are really big differences. I mean, we've just done Watkins Glen and that in the Go 4, and I think there's going to be a 10-second difference between LMP and Challenger. And that could be huge where you catch Challenger guys there. So traffic is a real big issue now in this championship, and it's nice as well. There's lots of overtakes, as you see. Who's that? It is Dynadas lapping me, and who is next on the old agenda there? I think this is Storm. So I just let off earlier, like I did with Michael. I'm not going to fight these guys. They're in a big battle there. I'm not going to disturb that battle. It's not my place to disturb it. And on we go. So another reason why I let him go there as well, actually, I forgot to mention this. Because I know these guys are fighting, I know Steven's going to have to go out well out the way. So where I break there 20-30 metres early is fine. I don't lose too much. Whereas if Steven gets caught here in Lesmo 1 and 2, it's going to be big for Steven to lose out on. Because obviously you lose time the most at Monza in the corners. And obviously being a fast GT3 car, that's where I'm going to gain the most. So you can see here that all 3 of them catching up to Steven right in a really horrible spot. Forces Steven out wide, gets in the old gravel there. That's going to give me a nice run on Steven as we head up to Ascari. Now, there's lots of action in these videos, of course. Going forwards, you'll see every overtake. I will always put every overtake in there. But hopefully we can have a bit better look in this. So through we go as we head towards a Parabolica. Now look behind me there just to make sure the LMP car isn't catching too quickly, because I want to make this move happen. I don't want to have to delay the move in any way. But we get a lovely run through Parabolica. That's how you should do Parabolica. Get a really nice run through there. So you can see there my speed to the curb, 127. That's where you want to be. Get a good slipstream here. And once again, pull out, try and make the move on Steven to get another GT3 car. So I've made up 5 positions now after going in the pits as well and having a slow lap. We are seriously making up positions. So into the first chicane. Now Steven does keep up with me quite a bit more here. So he's a fairly quick driver, Steven. But we're 8 seconds behind the next guy and there's only 2 minutes left in the race. So remember earlier on when I said that mistake may have cost me? I think that mistake and the slow lap may have cost me 1 more position in this, which is unfortunate and a bit annoying, but even so, we continue on. So that LMP car eventually catches up to me, and through he goes. So it's Varda. Varda's in the Marek, unusually. I wasn't expecting to ever see a Marek in one of these, but even so, he's there. And you can see he's got lots of damage because I'm instantly catching him on here. So I'll let off as we head towards the chicane. But he also takes the chicane slightly wrong, so it really slows me down. So I'm going to flash him here just to let him know it has slowed me down massively. There we go, just slowed me down. So I'll just flash him, just let him know, you know, put your foot in it, mate. I'm trying to catch the guy in front. As you can see, it's down to 5 seconds, one lap. And not 3 seconds off the old gap. So potentially, if that 1.5, 2 second mistake didn't happen, and the slow lap, which would have cost me another 1, 2, you know, I could have been very well in there, and I wouldn't have had to wait for Varda on this lap either, because I'd have been, you know, that bit further up the road. So as you can see, it's going to be the last lap this, as we come round. And one thing I've been worried about the entire race is when the laggy guy comes back. And look in my rearview mirror now, laggy guy is back. So this has been my worry the entire race, because is he going to wipe me out? I have no idea where he is. Look at that, it's just all over the place. I don't know where he is at all. He could be on my left, could be on my right, could be behind, could be in front. I have no idea. And as we come up to Ascari, look how close I got. Oh, that is so close. But yes, I make it through there just. And with it being the last lap, I'm just like, please, let me finish. That's all I want to do, is finish. Because at least I get some points on the board, and I can make up the rest in other races. So again, you can see all this smoke appearing everywhere. That's because of lags. There's a GT3 car up ahead, another TX3 guy actually, who's lagging. And there was reports of some GT3 cars lagging. I don't think I was. I did have worries about my connection at the start, because it was red, but it figures itself out in PC. It takes a while to make the calculations, I assume, but I went to yellow with everybody, which was fine. So I finished that. I'm pretty disappointed that I've come there. You can see that 144.3. I'm miles the fastest GT3 car, and I've come 7th overall in GT3, which out of 15 is not bad. I know one person didn't turn up, but even so, I'll take that with a pit stop, a slow lap. You know, there's the crash in there. I'll take that, and I'll move on forward. Next race is going to be Silverstone, and it's going to be raining, so there's going to be extra pressure on systems and things like that. So the video may go down to 720p on that one, just for that one, just because of the CPU. And there's going to be a practice session where hopefully all the guys can check their connections as well, because I was really gutted that ruined my race, and I think it ruined the EOL's race as well, because at the start he disappears and reappears, and I think that nudges EOL. But even so, make sure you do check out the live stream, because the live stream was really good to watch. You don't see GT3 as much because it was just jam-packed of LMP action. And I'll see you next time at Silverstone. Well, let's see if I qualify in the Go 4, which you will see in the next video. But that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.